Hello everybody, this is Captain Carson 31 from the Anime Junkies, and I'm just coming here to preface this video. In this video we'll be kind of doing a little anime review for our very first time on Tokyo Ghoul. This is going to be involving me, a Luigi freak, even though in the future projects we will be doing stuff alone on this channel. This is kind of a special review just to get you guys hyped, and just before we start things off, all credit in this video goes to Funimation, the people who made Tokyo Ghoul, and everything else. The plot of Tokyo Ghoul is set in Tokyo, where there's ghouls and humans. Humans being regular things that you'd see today, and ghouls being human-like figures with weapons attached to their body called kagune that can only eat humans to survive. So basically the ghouls and the humans are going at it in Tokyo, where there's different kind of sections. So we follow our main protagonist, Kaneki, a little nerdy boy, as he goes on a date with this girl that he's been eyeing down for a couple of weeks named Rize. They've bonded over a book, so he decides to take her to a bookstore, because Kaneki's kind of soft-hearted and a bit of a nerd. So anyways, after the date, Rize asks Kaneki if he can walk her home, since a bunch of ghoul attacks have been happening in her area. Kaneki, trying to be the gentleman, accepts, and they walk home together. It is soon revealed that Rize was the ghoul that was causing so much havoc in her section, as she attempts to eat Kaneki. Kaneki is fatally wounded, but just before Rize can eat Kaneki, a bunch of beams fall on her. Kaneki is rushed to the hospital along with Rize, and the doctors take it upon themselves to transport Rize's organs into Kaneki. They don't really know Rize is a ghoul, but all that other stuff, why they did it, is kind of revealed as the anime goes on. Anyways, Kaneki throughout the procedure turns into this kind of half human, half ghoul. So we follow him along in this like emotional distress thing as he tries to not take through the temptation of meat because it's really hard for him. Well, think about how hard would it be for you if you had to eat human meat. But anyways, Kaneki goes to a bunch of ghouls in the coffee shop that he frequents called Onteku. Anyway, he meets a bunch of characters there, Toka, Hinami, and he realizes kind of throughout the series that ghouls aren't that bad. So anyways, Kaneki's trying to discover himself as this new ghoul figure, as he's trying not to be killed by the CCG, which is basically the police for ghouls that try to exterminate them. Overall, this plot is very good and original. You don't really see it anywhere else. I highly recommend Tokyo Ghoul for this plot.
The animation in Tokyo Ghoul is one of the better ones out of a lot of animes. Sure, it might be because it's updated and pretty new, but it's also because, I'm just saying it, they really do well on the shading, you could say, but they really do well in that sort of area. And it really does fit in with the surrounding areas, what the characters are wearing. Even the facial expressions look very well. So, Tokyo Ghoul's animation is pretty good, to say the least. And also, something pretty good in Tokyo Ghoul is the battle scenes. Some animes really do well in the battle scenes, and they're mostly battle scene oriented then. And Tokyo Ghoul is one of those. Some do really well, some do not. Tokyo Ghoul is one of the really well ones. The battles seem very well executed, even though this might not fall under an animation. They look very well. Every character's, I guess you could say, they're called kagunes. Each ghoul has one. They look very well done and are different from others. Also, the environment in Tokyo Ghoul, the buildings, backgrounds, and the city, alleyways, depends whenever you are, shops, they all look very well executed and different from the rest. You won't see a chair that looks exactly the same as in the other place or area that the characters are in. I think that's about it on the animation of Tokyo Ghoul. Once again, it's pretty good, so that's about it.
The opening for Tokyo Ghoul and the music for Tokyo Ghoul is actually some of my favorite I've ever seen in anime. The opening is probably being my favorite opening that's ever been done. Anyways, the opening gets you really pumped for the anime, as it shows the emotions of the characters, the ghouls, even CCG members. It shows emotions of Kaneki and what it's kind of like to go through becoming this ghoul figure out of just being a regular human. They do all that stuff in just the opening. It's pretty crazy. The music and fight scenes are memorable. They do play snippets from the OP of the first season. They play a lot of that, and it's really good. It's probably my favorite for sure. The music is very touching, sad, and just gets you really hyped for the anime. I definitely would rate this music pretty high on my list.
The voice acting in Tokyo Ghoul is pretty good as well. I haven't seen the dub, but just off other dubs, I don't think it's gonna be the best. Well, it's already out. But I personally watched it in sub, and I think that the voice actors, very very well portray their characters in the series. The person that plays Kaneki, sorry if I pronounce the name wrong, these are Japanese names. Natsuki really well portrays Kaneki and his character as a bookworm and sort of a nerd. Also trying to be nice to everyone he meets. I think he very well portrays them. Another very, very good voice actor that I think even almost played his character better than plays character better than the voice actor for Kaneki did was Mayano Mamori, who played Suzuyama. He's a ghoul. I don't know if you've heard it in Carson's plot. He's one of the kinds of ghouls that feeds off the humans because he likes the way it tastes. But he sort of portrayed French and Japanese, so he plays that well. And his voice really does fit the way his character looks. Like, from the moment you see it and the moment you hear that voice, you know something bad's gonna come. And it really does fit his character well. Just the craziness embodied in his head and how he wants to eat these humans because they taste very well. And I think everyone does portray their character well. Also, one of the officers from the CCG that I'm not going to go any further in detail, and he's got white hair. He does also portray his character very well. Once again, sort of crazy. I really want to exterminate all the ghouls. They are the bane of mankind, even though, as we learn from the series, they're not. Kaneki is trying to make the ghouls better people. So yeah, the voice acting in Tokyo goes pretty well, and that's all I got to say.
After small debate, Kill and I have decided to rate Tokyo Ghoul Season 1 an 8.1 out of 10. It was very well executed, very good plot, very good everything. I do recommend watching it if you haven't already. Reasons we're not giving it a 10 is something to do with the ending. We know there's a Season 2 coming out, but there's something about the ending that just wasn't satisfying. Don't get me wrong, episode 12 was one of my favorite episodes with all the fight scenes and the transformation, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to spoil much. But anyways, that is the reason we are giving Tokyo Ghoul an 8.1 out of 10. Who knows, maybe they'll impress us with the second season. Peace out, guys.